Steven Universe episode 5. This is a classic episode to me in my mind that honestly rewatching this episode, I'll never really rewatch unless I'm binging the whole series because goddamn this episode's horrible. In some ways in hindsight. Not actually. Like I don't think it's a terrible episode. It has some nice comedy moments in it. But there's just so many odd things about this episode. So first of all, basically the plot of this episode is Steven finds about these things. The Gem Shards puts them in this Fry suit so that Petey, the Fry shop's youngest son, can get out of being the mascot, which he was doing not to disappoint his father, and then he ends up working out okay, and he gets closer to his father, but not before Frybo, the weird Fry suit, goes berserk and gets kind of creepy fucked up. So here's my problem with this episode. There are so many of these towny episodes that I think still work, even though overall we know the show doesn't really do anything with them, which is just so sad in hindsight. I saw while the show was still running, there were so many fan theories about how some of these towny episodes would retroactively come together and the humans would have to help save Beach City or something or whatever. Eventually some of these plot lines did come in there, but like it didn't really work out. Like this is the only episode that Petey really stars in. The rest of the episode, the rest of the time in the series, he's a background character, almost says like nothing. There's a couple episodes that star Ronaldo, and he's in those episodes and has a few lines, but like he doesn't really do anything. So when you're watching this episode and you're watching this context of the whole series, it's just this weird, creepy episode with this Fry suit that's just disgusting and overly creepy for no reason. And then you're just watching it, and it's like it's got some cute, innocent Steven moments and funny jokes about him ignoring Pearl at the beginning or whatever. But for the most part, I don't really give a shit about anything going on in this episode. It's really just kind of there. And I don't know, now, when in the early days of the show, I feel like this was an iconic episode just because it got replayed on Cartoon Network a lot. At least I remember rewatching on Cartoon Network a lot. But, like, going back to it, it's like, ew, what is this episode? Really? Like, what is this episode? It's so oddly bizarre and just the hindsight of the show. And even the gem technology with the gem shards doesn't really make a lot of sense. And that's a lot of stuff in these early episodes, but at least usually the episodes to have stuff to go with them that makes you kind of ignore that a little bit. Like, first episode of the series, yeah, it doesn't make sense that they're calling Centipedal a mother, but who cares? It's a good episode. This one, I can't really say that. I don't think it's a bad episode. I think it's fine. I think it's close to being bad with some of that creepy fucking imagery about Frybo. Like, what is going on here? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Like, share, and subscribe.